Do you hear that?
Yeah, it's quiet.
The kids are asleep.
We're off the clock.
Let's talk. Welcome to Parents Off the Clock. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Chow.
So, tonight,
Tonight.
I'd like us to discuss something that I think is kind of like controversial in a sense.
Interesting.
And also, everybody has their opinions about it, right? So,
Yeah.
what is your take on daycare? Is it necessary? Why is it necessary? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you feel like daycare is raising our children more than we are raising our children?
That's a lot.
All of the aspects of daycare versus maybe like a nanny or a grandperson.
A grandperson?
A grandparent.
That's funny.
Stepping up and being there and available to help with the children on the days, that we work.
I'll just start with the daycare and its necessity.
Okay.
Definitely believe it's necessary for a bunch of reasons, honestly. The main one that I've seen so far with us and our kids has been just honestly them going there to get sick.
I don't know if that's a plus. I feel like
it has to be.
That's my negative.
I mean, no, you don't want them to be sick, but it's one of those things where like they kind of have to go get sick. It's kind of on purpose. It's like when we were growing up, at least my parents sent me to get chicken pox from my cousin on purpose because it's something you just had to go through. You had to go get your chicken pox. Same thing with daycare. Go get whatever your little sickness is. Go build that immune system. I think for that purpose, almost within itself, you just kind of need that exposure. Personally, I know you know what I'm saying, you work in healthcare, you might feel differently, but I think they need to go get sick.
So that aspect of daycare is actually my guilt, right?
Fair. That's fair.
Because you put your baby in daycare, then they are sick for like a whole year, and you feel guilty, you feel sad, you feel helpless. You can't give up any type of medicine because they're so young.
True.
That's a guilt of daycare for me. Now, the necessity to me, like, of course, it's necessary, right? We're two working parents. We're not
also true
back in the old days where you were the breadwinner and you go to work and mommy stays at home and raises the kids and does the home and whatnot. Like, we are both, right, working parents.
Yeah.
So, for the fact of the matter that we don't have a village that village is, daycare is an actual primal necessity in order for our children to be taken care of. We sent both of our children essentially once they were old enough. Like once I had to go back to work. Our first was at 12 weeks. He started daycare.
He was in there.
Now our second, she started a little bit later. She started when she was 5 months. Because she was a preemie and I was like very leery of sending her too early. So she stayed home for a little bit.
She did.
And we staggered our leave just to keep her away from the illnesses. But for that point of needing someone there to watch your child while you go and make a living to support them, it's necessary.
What do you think about it as like I guess, like a spin on a nanny, because it's kind of like that they go to daycare so that you can breathe too. You know what I mean? Like it's not that you're trying to necessarily escape them, but it's like you said, you're at work, then you're with them any other time. Basically, you're not at work.
Right.
So it's like that still like I need some me time type of thing where it's like, all right, you just go to school. You know what I mean?
It would be a thing if they were full-time and they're not, and they've never been full-time.
That's very true too.
I've been the I don't like to let the reins go.
Yeah.
So I've been the mom that sends my kids to school the amount of days that I work, and the other days they're home with me. And so it works out for us. But still they're home with us 4 out of 7 days.
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely I love it, honestly. Like I said, any time that I get to spend with them, of course, I love it. But it is like, not that it's a double-edged sword, but the quiet of them not being here is like happiness and sadness at the same time. So I kind of get what you mean with like
But
they
it's
only
not
need to
like a
go
lot
and
of quietness here because it's only 1 day a week.
that's all you need sometimes.
There's only 1 day a week and you're still at work. So it's not like,
No, that's true.
once you end up going back in the office and you're not working from home, I don't feel like you're going to feel it.
I agree with that.
Um,
That would definitely
and
change
it
the way
is
I feel
just a
about it.
necessity. Like I do like daycare. You have to vet them. You have to find the right one. You have to
You're
be able to
true.
trust them.
True.
And my heart breaks for all the people whose children go to daycares and get abused, mistreated, assaulted. I couldn't imagine it. I couldn't fathom it. It's been
No.
like the biggest fear of mine every day I drop them off.
Yeah.
I think with my first, I had like that postpartum anxiety. And I'm like, I used to rush to go pick him up. And the closer I would get to the daycare, I felt more and more anxiety. Like, I hope you had a good day.
Mhm.
I hope everything's okay. I hope when I pull up, something isn't going on. Like, I hope nothing's wrong with him.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, we did pull him from that daycare
That's true.
because there was some stuff going on. There was a teacher hitting kids, and I don't know for a fact if my child was hit.
No, I know because I'll be in
Um,
prison.
but at what was he at that point? 16 months? He wasn't 18
Yeah, it
months
wasn't
yet.
even. Yeah.
16, 15 months old.
Mhm.
His best friend at the time, which is so funny, was hit by one of the teachers.
Yeah.
She got fired, and I happened to ask, like, oh, where'd such and such go? And she was spanking them because they were being quote unquote bad. I'm like, they don't understand anything.
They don't understand bad.
Flashback to the last episode on discipline. They don't understand anything. Don't put your hands on anybody's children. I'm not even putting my hands on my kid at this age, right? So, and he had started to like not want to go. And not only that, but there was such an overturn in teachers.
Yeah.
I'm like, they don't
the
like
thing.
working here. There's something wrong with this place. And once he started crying on drop off, I said, we got to find somewhere else. And we found somewhere else, and it's been perfect.
No,
luckily.
that definitely plays into the fear. Like you said, any of the funny stuff, the abuse, the weirdness, I saw something, I think the teacher was giving kids like laxatives so they can get sent home early. Like there's some crazy stuff out there, but like
that's wild.
Knowing my kid, knowing my son, his bubbly nature, how happy he is as a kid, I would not be able to be okay with someone potentially ruin that. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't care if my kid was a bubbly kid or like a quiet kid. I don't care how my kid's personality
I just meant like
is.
changing their behavior.
I wouldn't be okay with something happening to my kid.
Yeah.
Luckily, they're at the age right now where I don't know how much it would genuinely affect their bubbly personality. They wouldn't even understand what happened.
Yeah.
To change them. But anything like that would happen. I'd call the police on myself before I walked over.
Just to be honest.
I'd say, hey, I'm walking in. Y'all might want to get here. The sooner you get here,
better hurry up.
The less carnage there will be.
No,
okay?
that's real. That's real. But no, I also appreciate daycare. Like there's so much that I think that like they've learned from daycare. You know what I mean? Like, granted, we are definitely locked in here at home, letters of the day, the whole nine. Everything's going. So, like, we teach him a lot here, too, but there's definitely been days or times he's come home from daycare, and I'm like,
Yeah, he just came home counting a 10 in Spanish, and I'm like, what is this? And it was like just one day he went and he came and he started speaking in Spanish, and I'm like, he's like, leche is milk, agua is water, uno, dos, tres. I said, wow.
Yeah.
The knowledge that they do gain is amazing.
It's
However, I will give myself credit.
Yeah.
Because I read to my children, I talk
day.
to my children, I teach them things.
Yeah.
So while he was in, like that toddler room, the teacher would be like, I could tell you work with him. He's the smartest in the class. And not to brag on my kid. My kid's pretty smart.
Not to brag, but he is legit.
But like the teachers would say, like, we can tell that you're working with him. He's the only kid that will be screaming out and shouting out what's on these flashcards. Like, he's the only one that knows all of his animals and all the sounds that the animals make. He's the only one that knows his shapes, his colors, his numbers, things like that. So I'm like, yeah, well, I get him every educational thing that I can get him.
True.
And I pour into him because I know it'll be easier for him in the long run, because I know how frustrating it has to be to not know anything and to try to learn all this stuff.
Yeah, the later in the game you're trying to learn new stuff, it's like, oh.
So it's nice to see like the advancements. And now he's like, I have him here in this little workbook drawing, straight lines to start to learn how to write. He's 2. He'll be 3 this year. And he enjoys doing that. So once he starts actually doing that in school, he's going to be a pro. And they're going to be like, wow, he's so advanced. And I'm going to be like, but I can say there has been a lot of learning that has occurred that I do appreciate, that I feel like at home or with a grandparent or even with a nanny, it wouldn't be possible unless you had some like ex-school teacher, ex-daycare teacher that was a nanny that implemented like education.
So you don't feel, I guess our kids are part-time, so it would be harder for us to feel that. You don't feel like daycares or teachers are raising your kid more than you?
Because they're home 4 days out the week, right?
Yep.
Not only that, but I would drop them off like as late as possible.
I was gonna say, they don't stay the whole day.
And then pick them up early. Like, I was always like, oop, they're probably up from their nap. It's 2 o'clock, I'm picking them up. Like, now I've kind of pushed back the time to like, 3:30-ish. Let's get them. Because they're enjoying their time there, right?
They are.
I always wanted my kids, so I would go grab them as soon as I possibly can. And if I'm off early or whatever it may be, like, they don't know what time I'm coming in there. It's unpredictable. Don't try to predict what time they're getting picked up, because sometimes I'll come in at noon and say I'm picking my kids up for the day, and they're like, what are you doing here? Mom's here. Mom's here. Alert, alert. Oh, mom's here. But I really did used to love popping up at random times because I like to see what's going on. Like, it says that sense of control that I just can't let go. I like to see. I used to like to pop up, sneak in, and watch, see if I hear them yelling at him, seeing if he's behaving, seeing how like the dynamics are.
You can yell at him in my book. I don't have a problem with that. It's levels.
Well, it's not about yelling, but just seeing the dynamic of how he is, because I remember one teacher's like, I'm never going to tell you when he's bad.
Fair.
And I'm like, I kind of want to know, is there something I need to correct? Is there something that needs to be done? And now I go in and they're like, oh yeah, she's blunt. She tells it how it is. She corrects her kids on point. So if he did something and told the teacher no, or hit at the teachers, did anything, I said, say sorry right now. He'll say sorry. When I picked him up last week, the teacher's like, yeah, he pulled his penis out at lunch. So I go, did you expose yourself? He's like, yeah. I said, you need to say sorry. You don't do that. You have to keep your private. And I'm like, I'm very frank. I tell them penis, vagina, you're going to know anatomicals, because technically you're at a decreased risk of sexual assault if you know how to name what your parts are to be able to explain what's going on. So I'm like, you need to keep your penis in your pants. And the teacher's like, yeah. When we had him down the hall, Mom is frank. She'll just say what it is and be like this. And I appreciate that they appreciate that. But
no, he ain't playing with the exposure. He's definitely in a mode of self-discovery.
Okay.
That's what you gotta call it.
The downfalls of daycare.
What is there really?
The illnesses.
That was... yeah, technically. But like, it's one of those things that's good for the long run.
And that's what the doctor said. They're like, oh, they'll get sick for like a straight year.
They don't even care.
Then they won't get sick anymore. if you don't go to daycare when they're school age, you're going to be sick and missing school all the time. As soon as they're around other kids, they're going to get sick. And I'm like, okay.
It's very true though. Like
And it's true.
look at him now. He doesn't get sick for anything.
No.
We get sick, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like he's like,
yeah, his immune system's like strong.
He's been through it. And he used to get sick all the time. Now he's fine. He
like
never
there
gets sick.
wouldn't be, I think for that first year, and that was like the biggest turmoil. I mean,
Yeah.
that first year, there might be 1 week every other month that he was well.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. He was
1
going through
week
it.
every other month. And then you're like, do I take him to daycare? Okay, he doesn't have a fever. He's coughing, but he's snotty. But like all these kids are snotty and they're all coughing, but he's got no fever. He's got no rash. He doesn't have diarrhea. Like, send him to daycare.
Yeah.
Like, I can't keep taking off work because he's literally sick every day.
Yeah. I think
that's a downfall.
I guess the biggest downfall you kind of already hit on. It's the anxiety from you. It's the separation anxiety. It's the fear of anything that can go wrong, whether that's you inflicting it on yourself, like you said, like, I hope y'all don't do this. Y'all better not be doing that. I hope he's okay. And then honestly, sometimes for the kid to be like, well, where's my mom going? Where's my dad going? Where do you think you're going? What's this?
Well, separation anxiety is one thing, but the anxiety, I don't think it was separation. It was just the anxiety that something bad was going to happen. And I think regardless of daycare, school age, all the way through, you're going to worry about that because it's like as the time goes on, there's different issues that arise within schools that you're concerned about. And so this is just the start of that concern. The other downfall is cost. It is so expensive to have somebody help you watch your kids so you can go to work to make money, to pay them to watch your kids.
That cycle is crazy.
Like if there's a parent that makes significantly less, that would equate to the price of daycare that you pay within the year, it would make more sense for them to not go to work and be a stay-at-home parent, even though I'm sure it's stressful, but it would be more financially sound.
No, I think it's just hard out here, I guess. Like financially, everything is just more expensive. It's probably harder to balance the whole one parent is the breadwinner thing, as well as expecting your village to be there in that capacity as well. Because like grandparents are still working these days, or like at least for me, my grandparents weren't working anymore. You know, they were already retired or doing whatever they were doing. But these days, they're all still working. So it's like, we could have them maybe sometimes, but it's like, they got to go to work too. So it's like you don't really have a choice but to lean into daycare or a nanny or something that's going to cost money.
I have so many coworkers, and it's so nice for them. Like their parents or in-laws will take their kids while they're at work and things like that and help. And they'll be like, well, at least for that first year, they're going to be here. So it's like for that first year, they're not getting deathly ill. For that first year, you know that like they're taken care of well by a parent that you can trust, you know. For the first year, you can call them at all hours whenever you want to talk to them and check on them and see how they are. Not that you can't call daycare, but like it's not as sometimes that phone just rings because they're working, right? And it's nice and I love it for them. And I like a piece of me wishes that we had that, but I'm also very happy with daycare. Honestly, like I am happy with it. Like the overall picture of it, I think, is positive.
Oh, I mean, that's all I've seen. You know what I mean? Like that's the only option we've had with our kids.
I mean, we could have got a nanny.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's the same thing.
But I think the downfall of a nanny is now you're relying on one person.
Also very true.
Whereas like the daycare, they have to figure out their staffing and watch your kid when you need them. The nanny gets sick, you got to call off. Your kid gets sick and the nanny doesn't feel comfortable taking care of your sick kid, you have to call off. Something happens with the nanny's family, she has to go, he or she, I don't want to be sexist. Like now you have to find some other source of childcare, so then you're either having a backup nanny that you have to pay extra for last minute, or you have to call off work and take that hit. So it might work for some people. I feel like the risk is higher than the reward.
It is for, like you said, the ways of...
Especially for the cost, because nannies are more expensive.
It's a single point of failure, which you should never have. Like you said, like anytime that they can't make it, it's over. Like I'm calling off today. It's just, and you can afford it, but you don't really want to have that be an issue constantly.
You have only so many call-offs you can have, or so many sick days that you have at work, so many things like that. So, like, of course you're going to use them for your kid, but do you want to go into like a corrective action because you had to call off because your kid was sick all the time and your nanny was unreliable, or, so I feel like that one point of contact sucks. And then you have like when they do actually get really sick and they can't go to daycare. So you still have to call off. But the best thing about it is it's like, okay, well, one or the other, like one of us, like, okay, do you have call-offs? Do I have call-offs? Do you have sick time? Do you have time to waste? Do you have PTO? Who has what? And then we alternate. But then that's also why I enjoy sending them part-time, so that I know that, hey, they only have to be covered for these amount of days. And, these other days, I'll be home, be available. If they're sick, well, I'm not having to find childcare some other place. If they're sick, I could just take them to the doctor too, because I'm home, and I don't have to try to make all types of arrangements and selling my soul in a Starbucks gift card to get the day off. So, I mean, I think it's what the arrangement we have is nice. The arrangement that I've seen other people have is pretty cool too.
I don't understand the practicality of a nanny. I've never seen it in real life. It's always been like the movie nannies. And it's like, I don't even understand the vetting process that would have to take place behind getting a nanny.
You go to care.com, they all have background checks, and then you say, hey, I need you to work X amount of Z days for these amount of hours. This is what you get. Some people give their nanny vacation time. Some people give them PTO. Then you give them bonuses at the holidays. There's so much that goes into it where it's like, I still, like, I don't give the daycare bonuses, but I give gifts. So, like, Valentine's Day, I'm giving everybody little gift bags. Christmas, I'm giving everybody bags or whatever. Things like that where I'm showing my little extra appreciation to them.
There's also a comfortability of inviting a nanny into your house.
Exactly.
So it's like that's another layer to it.
Some people have au pairs, I don't know how to say it.
I don't even know what
they are like foreign exchange students. From another country. And you host them and they live in your house. Like they stay in your house, they live in your house.
Okay.
So it's like, hey, you ain't gotta say, oh, I can't make it because I have to come from it. You're living here, you're part of the home. These are your duties that you have to perform to live in my home and do whatever. But I heard some like horror story that somebody's au pair was like prostituting.
What? That's outrageous.
Like, some people will like give them a car to be able to get around, be able to take the kids to parks, things like that, for ice cream or whatever. Like, so they're not just stuck in the house while they're watching the kids. But I've heard horror stories.
That seems like an even more complicated vetting process.
There's horror stories everywhere you go.
Of course.
And like, you can't really vet a daycare. You like tour it for a couple minutes. You look at people, you give them the stink eye, like you mess with my kid.
Yeah, but you assume that there are majority of good hearts in a daycare. It's just more than one person. That's where like the nanny thing comes in. It's just
what type
one
of daycare
person.
You go to. And if it's a family-owned daycare, putting their family on just to give them jobs. If it's a corporate daycare that's like a legit, like almost school-like. But even then, you go to high school, the teachers are screwing the kids. So vetting is hard when people can be who they want to be in an interview, and then who they actually are in real life.
I just like to believe And maybe this is just how I get through my days. I like to believe that people go into their different professions because they enjoy what that profession
People go to
entails.
professions for money.
Of course. So the money's always a thing. But daycares ain't making a lot of money.
Even one of the teachers that's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
That CJ's been there, at least the majority of the time that he's been there.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't want to be there. Is trying to branch out, has a degree in something else, is trying to get to a different position, not within education whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And just is like at a standstill and is stalling.
Mm-hmm.
But it's there. But that's not where they want to be. And granted, okay, well, this was where I was. This is what I do, blah, blah, blah. But this ain't where I want to be. So, like, the burnout that can occur, you have to think about it like we're burned out from our kids, and they're our kids.
Yeah. Oh, I could never, personally.
These people have 6, 7, 8, 12, depending on their classroom, depending on how many teachers are in there. Toddlers.
Yeah, they're saints. That's what I'm saying.
Terrorizing them.
You have to love it.
You have to assume that at some point, if they really don't love their job for their job and want to be there 100%, that there is malice that can come from them.
Yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately, but
Yeah, off frustration alone, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. That's what I say. I like to look at it like people that work in that profession, people that are daycare professionals, I would assume that they love what they do. Kind of like teachers. Like you said, I assume you're in it because you love this thing. Can you still have crappy ones?
Yes. Girls.
Yeah, that's part of that vetting process I was talking about. I would hope
some people get there's like a thing where people get jobs based off of.
You get as close to kids as you can.
Well, can I finish my sentence?
Of course.
Thanks. Then you can respond. Thanks. After you listen to what I have to say.
Go ahead, say what you got to say.
People will have like socially inappropriate fetish or I don't even know what to call it. But they'll get a job close to doing that to make it socially appropriate. So like, oh, excuse me. Like there might be like a man that's a groper and he likes groping women, but like that's socially inappropriate, right? But he goes and gets a job as a massage therapist. So then he can, I can't remember the name of what it is. I learned it, I believe, in a psych class. But they'll get a position to get them as close to what they like doing that's not acceptable in an acceptable way. And so there's people that do that to get close to kids. There's people that get that to grope people. There's people in the hospital that get that to do certain things. And it's unfortunate. It's a mental disorder. But you also have to realize mental disorders are everywhere. And you don't know. You look left, you look right. Somebody has something and you just don't know. You just got to hope that it's not the people that are in charge of your children or around them.
Yeah, see, that's why I like to just think they do it because they love it. I don't want to go down
because you have to think about the nurses that do it just for the money. Versus the ones that do it because they love it. Working in the hospital. And I'm sure even as patients, you can tell who does it because they love it and who does it because of, the money. Then you can tell who's burnt out and still loves it and who's burnt out and can care less. And so there's like a vast array of how patients are treated and how jobs are performed based on that. And it's unfortunate, but if they can take a test and pass the boards and have an interview, that's what happens,
No, that's true. No, everything you said, the first thing is always money. Like it is what it is. You need it to live. You need it to do whatever it is that you want to do. So typically that's going to be your motivator. But then after that, like I said, certain professions, daycare people, whatever they're called, no disrespect, should do it because they love it.
Early childhood development.
They should do it because they love it. Nurses should do it because they love it. Anybody medical should probably
People
do it
are
because they
looking
love it.
at money, job security,
That
the
matters.
best place to be where like you're not gonna get laid off or you're not gonna
Yeah.
get fired, or I mean you can
Very
get fired, but
important.
like
Very important.
the biggest thing is like the fact that hey, I know I'm gonna have a job. I can
Yeah,
I can turn
for
the corner,
sure.
there's another daycare. I can turn the corner, there's another daycare. I can turn the corner, there's another one.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
like
Sure.
everybody always needs help. Everybody always has open interviews,
Yeah.
at least in that profession. And so when there's a shortage, people kind of run to where that shortage is.
Mm-hmm.
So they know that, hey, I'm going to have a place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even about like what they necessarily really want to do with their lives. It's
Yeah.
just finding something that's going to put bread on the table.
That's the
You
most
know?
important thing at the end of the day. You got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
However you got to get to it. Or just be nice to my kid. Even you people that's doing it to put bread on the table. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's like the
That's all I'm
the
saying.
biggest fear that I have is something happens drastic. Not like something happens like, oh, hey, he fell off this, he bumped his lip, he has a busted lip because he was playing. Okay, I get it. He's a kid, he's raggedy, he jumps over things, he does all the stuff. But like we're doing an investigation because such and such was here doing such and such to these kids, and we think your kid was involved in that. I don't know, even though I have my children, my husband, my career, all of this stuff
Yeah.
to lose, how sane I can stay
Yeah.
to not flip,
It's okay.
We'll
have a sit down on who gonna catch them charges. We want to do it. When we do it this time, all right.
This time, there's only 2 times, and then our kids are parentless. Like,
well, we hope it only if it ever happens, which it happens. Never is the hope. If it does, one time, because we're gonna set that tone.
But like, that's my thing is that is the biggest fear of mine. And
yeah.
Now I get why people homeschool, why people stay at home, why people don't trust their kids in places.
You definitely do.
I understand now where my parents came from, not just being weary about everything. Because like now as an adult, you see all of the flaws in people, in life, and what happens. And daycare is a part of it.
I think that might be its own topic altogether. Not even like helicopter parenting, the overprotection of your kids in general. It never really goes away. Your dad's still like that and you're grown. You know what I mean? It's just something that happens. You're always like, this can happen, that can happen. I want to make sure you're safe. And it's like, how far is too far on that? But I think that's
it's
a whole
not
thing
how
on its own.
I feel like, you let them fly when they're adults. As they're 1 and 2, you have to.
No, but
you physically have to keep them alive because they can't fend for themselves.
This is when you're called like a helicopter parent.
You have to be there to save them. And I don't think it's about being a helicopter parent because what parent of a 1 and 2-year-old is just leaving their kid to fend for themselves and do whatever? Like, no, hey, yo, you're about to fall off the bridge. Like, stop. Like, no, don't do that. Oh my gosh, you're about to fall down the stairs. Like, oh no, don't stop. Don't do that. Like, I'll leave them down in the living room and go do something. So I don't feel like I'm a helicopter where I'm like everything they do, where I'm like, okay, they're playing, they're safe. There's nothing that's going to harm them imminently. I'm free to just run up here and do something real quick, or I can come up here and clean and like peek, they're fine, and keep doing whatever and peek, they're fine. I don't think it's a helicopter parent. I think that people say that when you go to functions, right? And your kid's doing something and you stop them from doing something bad. And to me, it's like, no, I'm just disciplining my kid because, like, why would you? Like, that's not okay to do.
Yeah, the functions hit different, man. I don't feel like people watch their kid enough, but that's
No, people don't watch their kids because they
that's a
expect
different
everybody else to watch their
conversation.
kids. But then at the end of the day, like, I'm
Different
watching my own
conversation.
kids. I can't watch yours too. Like, I
Yep.
can't be responsible for everybody's kid. Like, maybe before I had kids,
Yeah.
like, it'd be like, oh, you here? Like, oh, you here?
Mm.
We better go outside. Now people don't even say, I'm about to go outside. They just ghost.
Yeah.
And then you're looking like, where'd your mama go? Where your daddy? Oh, you don't got no adult with you? Oh, who watching this kid? Who this belong to?
Who this one belong to?
Who this one belongs to? So you're just sitting there like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess I'll make sure you don't die in the next however long it takes your parents to get back here.
Yeah. No, that's true. But that's a different monster.
Yeah. I mean, it's just parenting styles. Some people are a lot more liberal. I am forced to not be because my kids don't want to play without me. Like, I wish they would. I'm like, go play by yourself. I don't want to play by myself, Lee. Come play with me.
He's very hit or miss with that.
Seriously, like, mommy doesn't want to play with you right now. So, like, people see it as like, oh, you're smothering your kids. Or, no, my kid is smothering me.
he likes to show stuff off.
He wants to build a tower, but we have to build a tower together.
Yeah.
I say, I don't want to play. No, but I don't want to play by myself. Well, that's why you got a sister. So wait till she's
she gotta catch it up.
Wait till she's big enough. But now that she
up.
wants to come and play with his stuff, no, don't touch it, mommy.
She don't play right yet. He can't make her do what he wanted her to do.
So yeah. Is there anything else about daycare?
No, I think we hit it all. The good, the bad, the ugly.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
So
all in all, I don't feel like daycare is raising our children.
No, not for us.
I find it for me to be a positive.
Yeah.
You know, I'm willing to pay it. Some people aren't. I'm willing to send my kids. I've gotten over that hump of illnesses, like the biggest one. Oh, first of all, no. We haven't talked about the worst part.
Which is?
Norovirus.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I hate it.
Foot and mouth.
You didn't even get it.
But you did.
Yeah, bruh, never heard of it in my life. Did not exist, was not a thing, still sound made up to me. It got a stupid name. What is hand, foot, and mouth? That don't even sound right. You mean you put your hands and your feet in your mouth? It's dumb. I don't like it. And as an adult that had it, I felt childish. I don't even know how I got it to this day.
Because you don't wash your hands well.
Listen,
sometimes you don't even wash your hands at all.
I try with these children. I'm trying to wash my hands all the time. I feel like my hands be dry out here.
And yet norovirus has struck you twice.
Got me. That's them though, man. You got it too. You wash your hands all the time. See, that's them, not us.
But the difference is
they nuked us.
They physically, like, it seems as if like they have norovirus.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, they like spit into my mouth.
Open mouth coughing on you.
Trip. Drool.
Yeah, they cold-blooded.
Open mouth cough a loogie. And it's like there, and then it's over with, and it happens, and that's how it should. No. Like, no, I definitely wash my hands when they're like pooping. But then like last year when we had it, I think it was like cleaning up the vomit.
Yeah. No, what I don't like about it is that they don't get it as bad as we get it. That's my real problem. It doesn't do anything to them. They both had it, and it's like, oh, they might have threw up once. That doesn't happen for us.
You threw up once.
That's not how it affects me. It chooses to affect me other ways.
I vomited.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't get that part. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm cool with that. I hate it. I hate it with passion.
I probably should have slept on the bathroom floor. I should have got a pillow and a blanket and just laid at the toilet.
The norovirus is definitely the worst part.
But that's the terrible. That's the ugliest of daycare.
100%. Hate it.
The good, the education portion. The socialization is a big thing too.
Socialization is
Because
very
kids that
important.
don't go to daycare just are very antisocial and only know how to talk to their parents and,
Yeah.
you know, adults. They don't know how to socialize with children their own age. Most of them, not all of them.
Yeah, no, that's true. Socialization probably not. Yeah, I guess it probably is the most important part. You learn to
Because
be
if you don't
around people
have
your
like
age.
if you don't have like family members your age, you don't know.
Yeah.
And so then you get like the kids that are 3 that talk like they're 23 and you're like,
So yeah,
go play with some
this is
kids,
all
bro.
I talk to. I'm topping it up.
The socialization, the education part is great.
Yeah.
Um, the time that you may get to breathe as a parent is great. The cost, the anxieties
The anxiety is pretty bad.
are the bads. The bad eggs that are there are the
Yeah.
bads. But in all, I mean, we have no choice.
No,
We're doing it. So I think we're just going to
we're doing
rate it
it.
at 4 out of 5.
The kids are doing well. It's all great right now. So
Yeah.
no complaints from us.
Yeah. I think that's that's about it for daycare.
Yeah, I think we hit it all.
If anybody has any input or any suggestions on how they might find reliable nannies, babysitters, things like that for parents to do date nights and things when they don't have, you know, the village that should be villaging.
Yeah.
Village. Hit the comments.
Hit us up. Let us know what y'all got on y'all mind.
Until next time. Good night.
Peace.